Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hello and welcome. My name is Katie and this is my April 2023 reading wrap up. So I'm going to get into it because there's a good few books to get through, and I just want to tell you all about the books I've read this month. So if you do enjoy these kind of videos, carry on watching to see what I've been reading in April. Starting off, if you saw last month, you saw I read a book series called the Mindfuck series, and I just had the last book, which I finished end of March, start of April. So I talked about that in March's reading wrap up. If you want to know what the Mindfuck series is, just a quick roundup. It's about a woman called Lana who's a murderer. She kills some men who are very, very bad, and she kind of starts dating an FBI agent which is actually investigating her murder. So, yeah, the last book, it was quite a roller coaster. It was quite intense, lots of twists and turns, some unexpected twists which I wasn't expecting, and the book ended like it was like a contemporary romance as well. So Lana did get a happy ending eventually. So, but I would check trigger warning because, as I said before, it is quite graphic in the way she gets rid of these men. So the next two books I have to talk about are books I actually DNF'd this month. One was on Audible, and I was really excited to read it because I enjoyed this author's first book that I read, which was The Sanatorium. So this is her second book called The Retreat, and I tried listening to it on Audible and I could not get on with it. I don't know if it was because of the narrator or just how it sounded. So I'm thinking in the future maybe I might try and pick it up in like physical form, or if it goes on Kindle, because I do want to read it. Maybe I just wasn't. This is the thing with Audible. I'm still getting used to like narrators' voices and stuff like that. So unfortunately, I did DNF that one for now. I think it was just mainly the narrator's voice I couldn't get on with. So that was a shame because I did like Sarah Pearce's first book that I read. The second book that I DNF'd is called The Prison Healer, and that's a trilogy, but I just started the first book because I heard quite a lot about it. It sounded quite up my street, and I did DNF it at 52%, so halfway in. I found it a bit slow, like really slow. The chapters, when there was action, were really, really short. And then like information, background chapters, world building were really long. So I just didn't like the balance of it. But some people are really enjoying the series, so it's just not for everyone. So yeah, unfortunately I did DNF The Prison Healer, which is by Lynette Noni. Yeah, so unfortunately I DNF that. So the first physical book that I want to talk about is this one, and it's the Society for Soulless Girls. I absolutely love this. One of my friends who I met through Book Talk book ferried me this last year, so I'm glad I finally got to it. As soon as I read this, it automatically gave me like vibes of Wednesday, the TV series on Netflix. It was very dark and creepy throughout the whole book. Like, I loved how the author wrote this. It's by Laura Stephen. So I could have saved the spooky season, but again, I've got quite a lot of books lined up for October. So yeah, really loved the atmosphere of the whole book. It had two points of view in the book, and the characters kind of intertwine with each other. So you kind of get the story from one side and then the other, and they kind of like link. It was really, really right up my street. I would thoroughly recommend. And yeah, so that is The Society for Soulless Girls. I actually finished this in 2 days, which I was quite surprised at. It was really gripping, a couple of twists in it, which I wasn't expecting, and I gave it 4.5 stars. So yeah, I would thoroughly recommend if you like kind of dark, creepy. I'm guessing it could be seen as like academia because it's about a college, but I I'm not sure if I'll read it again because obviously I know the twists and things and what happens, but I'll probably keep it because I did really enjoy this book. So yeah, 4.5 stars for The Society of 4 Soulless Girls. Next we have on Kindle, I don't have my Kindle to hand at the moment, but I'll try and put pictures up if I can. This was called The Fey Princes. It's by Nikki St. Crow. It's part of the Never King series, so it's a Peter Pan retelling. And I read it on my Kindle, and it's book 4 in the series. And this is kind of a very, very spicy Peter Pan retelling. And this one wasn't as spicy as the other 3, which I didn't mind because sometimes if a book is too spicy, I think it ruins it. So yeah, I've just got my notes here saying it was an overall good read, enjoyed the story and diving back into this world of version of Neverland. This one, as I said, it wasn't as spicy as the other 3, but as I said, I didn't really mind that at all. It focused more on the plot and the characters and what was going on with the characters. And a good couple of twists, which are really good. And I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes next because this is the ending of these 4 books. I think the author is starting another series, so I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. And I gave The Fey Princes a 4 out of 5 stars because I loved being back in that little Neverland. So that was that one. Next we have this. Now this I would highly, highly, highly recommend. Saying that already. Absolutely love this. Again, my friend Chanel book fairied me this because I think she read it and she knew that I would instantly enjoy it, which she was right. This has got 2 points of view from a boy called Devon and a girl called Chi. I can't pronounce her full name, so I've just put it as Chi. It's about 2 black children in a dominantly white school. And they are being targeted by someone called Aces, and they're spreading rumours about them and isolating them from everyone because they're two odd kids because they're black in this. Devin and Chi come together and try to solve who is spreading these rumours, who is sending these texts and being Ace, and why they're doing it. And it was so, so good. The twist in this made my jaw drop. I was not expecting this twist at all. And I finished this very, very quickly. I finished this in a day. So I was hooked on this book from the off. So it's by Farida Abiki Imedi. Just put it there just in case you want to write it down because I cannot pronounce that for life and money. So yeah, Ace of Spades. 5 out of 5 stars for this. I finished it so quickly and it's quite chunky. So I was thoroughly surprised at how quickly I finished it. I was hooked from the off straight away, and I would definitely recommend Ace of Spades if you want something that's obviously relating to like race in kind of a school environment, but you will not expect this twist that comes at the end. So yeah, I would highly, highly recommend Ace of Spades. So next we have, this was actually a new book I got from the works, and I bumped it up on my TBR because it was getting quite a lot of hype on social media, and I thought I'm going to probably be a sheep and follow the hype. And it is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I'm so sorry. So yeah, I got this from the works for £3, and yeah, because I like thrillers, so I thought it might be a good one because it's meant to be a good one. Had a lot of hype, and I was a bit underwhelmed. It wasn't as gripping as I thought it was going to be. It just felt like an easy thriller to read. It didn't really like thrill me too much. I kind of worked out who was the murderer in the end, and a couple of twists did catch me off guard, but it wasn't like jaw-dropping for me. I think I've read more other thrillers that have made me a bit more shocked and surprised. So, sorry, it's a bit windy outside and there's like something rubbing against the window. Yeah, so for me personally, it was an easy read. I worked out who was behind it all. I did give it 3.5 stars because, as I said, it wasn't as gripping as I thought it was going to be. So, yeah, a bit underwhelming, but I'm glad I read it, and I probably won't read it again now because I know what happens and I know the twists. So that was The Silent Patient. What have we got next? Next we have My Sister's Child, and this is by Karen Clark. I took this on holiday when I went to Devon. And I read half of it there. I finished it when we got back because obviously we were quite busy. And yeah, again, this one was really underwhelming for me as well personally. I had an inkling who the father of the child was, because basically the character, her sister leaves her baby with the main character, and she brings him up as her own, and then she gets contacted anonymously by someone to say they know, obviously, about the child and things like that. So it's kind of working out who's behind the kind of contacting her and trying to scare her kind of thing. So yeah, unfortunately this was a bit underwhelming. As I said, I think I had an inkling who the father was from quite early on. Personally, I didn't feel, again, as gripped by this. I felt like I did have to push through this one a little bit. And the font in this is really, really small. So that puts me off sometimes if the font is quite small. So yeah, I did give this one 2 stars. So I'm really, really sorry if anyone else enjoyed this, if they've read it. But unfortunately it wasn't for me. So that was My Sister's Child by Karen Clark. Next we have Pretty Evil, which I read on my Kindle. This was just a Kindle book that I put on my phone to read when I was putting Louis to bed. So again, another book which is about like an unhinged woman, a damaged woman looking for revenge by killing bad men. Again, check trigger warnings because it did have some dark topics in it. Again, I think because I'd read the Mindfuck series, I did like this, but it wasn't, what have I put? It was just like something short to read on my Kindle whilst I had something to look at while I was getting Louis to sleep. So it's just a short read on my phone. Again, I put it as 2 stars, but I think it's because I read the Mindfuck series and that was so graphic and violent and all about an unhinged woman murdering men. And this was kind of the same, so I think I might have read too much of that kind of genre. So that was Pretty Evil by Zoe Rossi. But I did give that one 2 stars. So next physical book we have The Third Wife by Lisa Jewell. This, again, I felt was an easy read. I don't think this is one of Lisa Jewell's better books out of the books she's brought out. I found it quite slow to start with. I did have the who was the culprit in my list of guesses, so technically I did kind of work out who the culprit was, but it didn't feel as atmospheric as other books Lisa Jewell's written. So I did finish it in 3 days though. But yeah, so I gave this one 3 stars. So I was feeling a bit what's the word? Harsh with my ratings. Because I do love Lisa Jewell and I love her books, but I don't think this one was as good as some of the other ones I've read, which really gripped me. So yeah, this one felt more of an easier read as well. So that was The Third Wife. Next we have another book on my Kindle called Ambrosia, which is a second book in a series called Frost, by C.N. Crawford. This is like kind of a fantasy based book, and it's just the second book in the series, so just carrying it on. So we follow Ava, Ava, who is a human, and she finds out she's an unseelie, so it's kind of like a demon type person, and we follow her as she finds out she's an unseelie, and her journey with Torrin, who is a king of his kind of where he's from in the Fae kind of land. So it's just carrying on from that story, really. I did enjoy seeing Ava come into her own after finding out what she is, because obviously that was right at the end. She found out that she was an unseelie. And yeah, I did enjoy reading about some of the other characters' relationships, because Ava brought her best friend Shalini into this world as well, and she kind of gets along with one of the king's bodyguards called Aaron. I'm going to say it might be Aaron. So you get to see that different side as well and how it is affecting them. And yeah, it was just nice ending to this series so far. I don't think there's going to be a third. But I just enjoyed being back in like a fantasy world. So I did give that one 4 stars. I did DNF a third book this month. So I've been a bit harsh with my books, I think, this month. But I just get into that habit of, if the book hasn't gripped me by like 100 pages, then I don't think it's my vibe at all. If I'm having to push through chapters to feel like I'm getting somewhere, then it's not really my vibe. So this was actually another Lisa Jewell book, The House We Grew Up In. So I DNF'd this after 162 pages. And I feel really bad because I love Lisa Jewell. She's a really good thriller author, but this, again, didn't live up to my personal opinion of her writing. Nothing like any of the other books I've read of Lisa Jewell. I found it really morbid and depressing, and I understand why, because the message is kind of showing how different events from the characters' stories affect other people in the family. So yeah, unfortunately it just wasn't for me, I'm afraid. So if you have read this one, let me know what you thought. But personally for me, I could not get past 162 pages because I found the chapters really, really long, like 30 plus pages in chapters, and sometimes that really does make me feel like I'm having to push through, and that's just really not a bit of me. So unfortunately I won't be reading this, and I did DNF it, I'm afraid. So that is that one. Something I did not DNF, which I powered through, was this, because as soon as I DNF'd The House We Grew Up In, I just thought I need something light-hearted, and I got Adam to choose out of 2 books, and he chose me The Accidental Medium by Tracy Whitwell. So I had this on my October TBR, but I just thought, because I just need something light-hearted, and obviously I love a witchy book or magical book, it would do the job. And this did the job. I absolutely loved this. It was amazing. I read this in 3 days, but that was because I had obviously stuff going on. I think we were away. Yeah, we were in London part of that weekend while I was reading this. So yeah, this is The Accidental Medium by Tracy Whitwell. Absolutely loved it. It's magical, it's funny, it's light-hearted. We follow a main character called Tans, who is an actress, aspiring actress, we follow her journey after she finds out that she has psychic abilities, how it affects her life and how it changes her life and changes her personally. Thoroughly again recommend. It was funny. It actually made me like laugh as well. I haven't found many books that like make me laugh out loud. This I found hilarious. And there's another character in it called Sheila who helps Tans on her journey through becoming a psychic medium, because she does like tarot and things like that as well. So they come together and they investigate some ghost busting and stuff like that. It's really, really funny. And she is like a Geordie, so you kind of get the like northern vibe as well, which is really fun. So I really, really enjoyed this. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. So I would highly, highly recommend if you like a light-hearted book about a psychic medium. So that was that. And the last 2 books that I've got to talk about again are my Kindle and Audible. So the last book I read on my Kindle was a book called Magnolia Parks, and this has so much hype on TikTok and Instagram. I read this in my Discord group as a buddy read, and I think it's me getting old, but this book has so many toxic relationships in it. It was like a modern day Gossip Girl, modern day like reality, like The Only Way Is Essex made in Chelsea type of vibe. So we follow Magnolia and a boy called BJ, and it's kind of going through their journey of on again, off again, and they keep doing stuff relating to each other that's hurting one another, and it's just so toxic, really, really toxic. I don't think I've ever read a book which has got so much toxic relationships in. Too much for me personally, I think. I didn't really like too many of the characters either, and I just wanted to just bang Magnolia and BJ's head together and just be like, just sort it out. If you can't sort it out, just leave each other alone. So yeah, it's kind of that toxic relationship, on again, off again kind of vibe. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue the series, because I did find that quite a lot to contend with, how much toxic energy there was. I did give it 3.5 stars because it did keep me engaged. I did want to read how it ended, and yeah, I just think it was just too much toxic energy, and yeah, it's too much for me. Too much. You just won't be. You wouldn't be like that. So yeah, unfortunately, I did not enjoy Magnolia Parks as much as other people have. I think it's mainly for younger people, but maybe potentially with all the toxic young socialites and stuff like that. But yeah, just too much toxic stuff going on in this book for me personally. But as I said, I did give it 3.5 stars, and it was just nice to read something new, I suppose. But yeah, so that is that one. So the final book I want to talk about was on Audible, and it's by the same author as The Accidental Medium, Tracy Whitwell. It's the second book. I'm guessing it's just a duology, but this second book follows on from the first one. So it's called Gin Palace, and it's by Tracy Whitwell. So as I said, it just follows on from The Accidental Medium. I listened to it on Audible, and this was the fastest time ever like I've ever read an audiobook. So funny. Absolutely loved it. The author actually narrates this book as well, so she does it in a Geordie accent all the way through, and it is just really, really good. Absolutely loved it. It just follows on from Tans, and she goes on some more ghost busting adventures, and how these ghost busting adventures and investigations affect her personally, mentally, physically. You get to see it, how it changes her life, and her career and stuff like that. It's really, really funny. Quite short as well, so that was nice. Again, light-hearted as well. I think you'd really enjoy this. If you've been a bit like maybe in a slump and you want something a bit more light-hearted and funny, I would highly recommend these books by Tracy Whitwell. They will have you giggling and laughing, and I find Tan's relatable, because she's just one of them people that you can relate to. I think like she's an aspiring actress. She wants to get her career off the ground, but obviously things getting in the way and things like that. So yeah, as I said, I listened to it on Audible, and yeah, I would highly, highly recommend. That was also 5 stars as well. So, just a quick reading wrap up of everything that I read this month. So in total, I read 12 books this month. My favourite books of the month were the 2 Tracy Whitwell books, so Gin Palace and The Accidental Medium. I have also put, as my favourite book of the month, Ace of Spades, because I cannot stop talking about this. The twist in this had my jaw dropped to the floor, but did not see it coming at all. So I would highly, highly recommend. Definitely a favourite of mine for April. Sadly, my least favourites of the month were, what was it? My Sister's Child. As I said, I just didn't really get on with it, and obviously I worked it out quite early on, and as I said, sometimes small fonts can really get to me, so that put me off a little bit as well, but that was that. And I also put The Prison Healer as a least favourite because I just found it really slow. Some people really enjoyed this trilogy, but personally for me, I just can't get past that first book. So unfortunately, that was a least favourite. So before I end this video, I just want to talk about a reading challenge that I'm going to be doing in May. And I just want to put it out on this video just in case anyone wants to join in. So obviously you can see I have a big bookshelf of books, and me and my friend Chanel, which I met through TikTok, have decided that we are going to do a physical books only reading challenge this month. No audio books, no Kindle books, just physical books to help get our physical TBR down a little bit. So yeah, we are starting that on the 1st of May, so it'll be running for the whole of the month of May. And yeah, we just thought it would be a fun thing to do to help get our physical books down. So if you want to join in, let me know in the comments. If you post anything book related anywhere, let me know and I'll go and follow you. And yeah, I've got 2 buddy reads to start off the month, which I'm looking forward to. But yeah, I just thought I'd let you know in case you wanted to join in a little book challenge for the month of May. And I'm looking forward to seeing how many physical books I can get through. So I hope you enjoyed this little reading wrap up. If you did, please don't forget to leave a big thumbs up. If you're brand new to my channel, hello and welcome. Please hit that subscribe button as I'm trying my hardest to get to 1,000 subscribers. And I would love for you to stick around. And I'll speak to you at the end of May to see how much I read. Take care and stay safe. Bye.